here on live. Great. Oh, what a week.
My bookie week.
You're almost there. There we go. We are live. Yep, that worked. Nice. I'm going to try to watch, Periscope.
Cool. Second countdown.
Oh. Yes. I'm a little far.
Three. And we're live.
Hey everybody, I'm Dan Adelko.
I'm Matthew Charlenko.
Matt Stefanich.
And welcome to episode 68 of Live at the Hive.
68 live at the Hive, yeah. It's been a good week.
It's been a crazy week.
Yeah. It's March 1st. February felt like it went on forever.
Yeah.
February, yeah.
March crept up on us.
I was walking around the office saying Happy February 97th.
Exactly.
Felt like that.
For sure.
And I'm getting some testing messages in Slack that all of our QA tests passed. Don't even worry about it.
Green lights all around.
That's how we roll.
Nice.
Good.
All right. Woo, what a day. What a day, what a day, what a day. Hey, Stacy. Hi, April. Look at Matei.
Justin, Matei.
On and commenting.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
He's here twice.
This guy is on top of it. So once again, we are now restreaming to how many different? Well, 3. Periscope, YouTube Live, Facebook Live.
Yep. And it went smoothly this week. Last week, remember we had a little bit of a hiccup.
A little bit, yeah.
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 Is that good?
Producer Matt's on his game this week.
Matt's on his game, finally. Let's see if it went to my Twitter. So I'm going to jump on Periscope now for all you Periscopers.
What Justin said, episode of the Mats.
Episode of the Mats, that's right.
Okay, yeah, lots of busy stuff going on in what's new and what's working. What are we doing on what's working this week?
What's working? We're going to be talking about influencer marketing for 2019. So some of the unique things that we've been doing recently at the Hive that pertain to like graphic design, for example, some of your infographics, some of the SEO aspects that we do from our side, some PR stuff, but also just new nurturing techniques, how kind of influencer marketing's transformed from late 2018 to currently. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. And then for what's new, we have some good articles for this week. Some new tools, some new methods, some big announcements from some big social platforms.
Exciting.
So why don't we start there with one of the bigger announcements from this week from YouTube, Dan?
Yeah, this is a big one. YouTube kind of consistently embroiled in content curation. I'm going to call it content curation. They're trying to figure out this, this fine line especially for kids, but for advertisers. YouTube continues to grow insanely, right?
Yeah.
Big push to compete with Netflix. Although Netflix will say that their biggest competition is Fortnite.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but but in this particular announcement is YouTube has come out and is going to disable all comments on most videos of kids because of pedophiles, which is in this particular article. But it's also part of the reason was just negative commenting, bullying, and trolling as well.
Yeah.
Kind of the dark underbelly of the web.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, especially what's going on this week. It's been popping out a lot on social media.
What is it, Matei?
Momo.
Okay, we don't have to go into Momo.
I'm not gonna pull it up or anything.
No,
but
we don't need to pull up Momo at all.
I think this is just. I think YouTube Kids is a great platform.
Yeah.
Just the thing is that I think they need to understand how to moderate it a lot more. I mean, a lot of not everything can be left to the parents because realistically, I don't know personally, but I'm not going to sit down for 4 hours and watch YouTube Kids with my kid. Like, they'll probably be in the same room with me, right? But realistically, I'm not there moderating it, right? So I think there needs to be like a stricter either monetization process where you're more verification and stuff, right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that go into play here. Is that as platforms hit critical mass and they become very commonplace, the issues become exponentially more challenging. Yeah. And they become exponentially more challenging for the platform, but for advertisers as well.
Of course.
Right? And I think for a long time what ended up happening is auto placements and AI placements for YouTube TrueView ads, pre-roll, skippable, non-skippable, mid-rolls, all of the different formats that YouTube have went very much unmoderated by advertisers. They didn't look, they didn't know. And you see things like Alex Jones, his channel getting banned, right? Them pulling out, realizing that Audi or Volvo has their ads on conspiracy style, right-wing or very left-wing extreme videos. And these brands don't want their stuff associated with anything controversial typically, right? Yeah. That's kind of, they're averse to that. On the kids side, YouTube Kids, so I've got 4 kids. I want to say all 4 of them are watching YouTube because Evangeline is 3.5 weeks old.
Yeah, that'd be amazing if she was.
She might well be. She's probably already asking for her iPad.
Probably.
Yeah. Yes.
Probably know how to use it too.
Yeah, I should just buy shares in Apple and just say, look, we've bought 74 iPads
Sponsor
in the last
us.
5 years. Yeah. But YouTube Kids is a really great platform. They've improved it a lot. Comments on kids' videos, you can actually, if you have a channel geared towards kids or content towards kids, because if you think about it, toy companies, video game companies, it's a huge business, and it's a way that these companies have used to reach out to kids. Disney does it all the time, right, by sponsoring channels and such. So creators are able to actually enable comments, but they're going to have a heavy-handed moderation. They're going to have to moderate those comments properly. May or may not be worth it in the comment count. But yeah, from an advertiser's perspective, a couple of solutions is to put together a placement list of preferred channels and a negative list to eliminate channels and videos you do not want your content to be displayed on is also a really good way.
That's very cool. That's interesting.
From that perspective. And I can guarantee you one thing, all we're going to see more of is more developments like this on Facebook and on YouTube as these platforms mature and as, you know, advertisers and users both want kind of better experiences here. And with what's happened, especially with Facebook, but a lot with YouTube as well. Of course. These things are really young.
Yeah.
Like they don't know a lot of, you know, these are new problems for everybody.
Yeah. They are. And I think this year as well, a lot of channels are making these integrations because of some of the stuff that's going on, especially what happened this week. It's been all over social media. It's a little blown up exactly what happened, but you know, YouTube's taking steps to make the platform better.
And I think on the good side of this is advertisers coming out in this adpocalypse kind of notion and saying we're pulling our advertising until this is solved. Yeah, that's the strongest voice that can come out to Google and to YouTube and to Facebook to do this. And because creators can say what they want, and typically those platforms will not listen. Yeah, right. So yeah, interesting development from an advertiser's and marketer's perspective. I think regardless of the size of what it is that you are advertising, is not just simply blanket advertising with very broad interest groups. You're going to blow your budget, first of all. Secondly, you can really use like a sniper technique to pull that into like a video game world, is, you know, as opposed to using a chain gun and just spraying the bullets all over the place on YouTube. Yeah. Hoping you get some uplift.
Do you think that'll have an effect though, the comments? Because I know a lot of people that when they're creating content, they love engaging with their followers, right? I'm just wondering how that would play out.
I mean, the creators do have the option to enable it. The question is if you've got, you know, some big creators and big channels will have thousands and thousands of videos, and that comment moderation has to be curated.
Of course.
So it's almost more work. So the question is, you know, yes, I think comments are important for community building, but left unmoderated,
That's true.
they actually make channels look like cesspools.
Yep.
Because, you know, for every, 2 good comments, typically you may get a troll. Hillary just joined us and said, buzz, buzz, buzz. Let the puns continue. Hi, Hillary. So anyhow, I guess at the end of the day, comments are important, but they're important only if you're actually developing a community around the comments, right? And hopefully, if you are a creator or you're running a YouTube channel, you moderate and remove trolling, bullying, anything that might be, offside. So yeah, it's like, I guess one of the things too is, in a sense, from Google's and YouTube's ranking algorithm, the number of comments from valid accounts has always been a signal. So that is likely to change.
Of course.
And that's going to change the way the algorithm behaves and operates. So Hannah says, hi, boy bees. Yes. It's an all-male cast today.
Hi, Hannah.
So let's move along. So there's some, YouTube updates and some tips for advertisers on that.
Yep.
We got
next up, Facebook's introducing a new kind of way to target ads with Facebook TV and some online videos. So for some of the more popular and premium content on YouTube, it's becoming increasingly difficult to target younger audiences on there. So to kind of get around that, Facebook's allowing basically this new ad platform called Showcase, and it's going to allow people to get some in-stream advertisements where people can buy directly and put it through to the video, as well as some sponsorships as well, to be basically the exclusive sponsor for that one program or that one show, right? And it's not to say that it's going to be on everything. I think this is going to be for the most premium content on YouTube, or not on YouTube, sorry, Facebook, that they kind of know that these ads are going to perform well, or this is a kind of niche that we're not able to really sell great ads for at this point.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting counterpoint to the last what's new, right? I don't know if you've got that up on the screen right at the moment, Matt, but if you do and you click through to the CTA there, you can scroll down and see some of their main some of the main things they're talking about. It's interesting, is built to be brand safe, and that's exactly what kind of this last reaction from YouTube was, as well as brands want to promote on videos that are brand safe, that they want to align with. Some of the interesting things here are that, one, typically what Facebook will do is roll out a premium feature to top advertisers in slight advance of prepping for a wide rollout, right?
Nice.
So it'd be good to educate yourself if you're interested in either, if you're a creator or if you're an advertiser. Facebook Watch is also trying to gun for the Netflix audience.
Yeah.
And more, I think, in the snackable content side. But being able to accurately target those videos and those audiences, right, is extremely important. So some interesting premium content and premium content options. And the question is, I wouldn't imagine it's going to be more than 6 months before this gets rolled out to a wider audience with.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think people are just going to love this. Like, creators are going to love it too, just because you're kind of able to kind of make that easy transition into that ad where it's just not like an ad totally like off topic. Like, if you could, I would probably try and find an ad that's more specific to whatever topic your video is talking about, or the theme of your video. If it's a show, maybe, I think that would be a good idea. And I think it would kind of, like you said, like, it would take away a little bit from all this controversy where people are pulling their ads because they don't want their ad on that type of content. Like, and I'm sure it'd be vetted a little bit more and stuff, but
yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, depending on the size of, so, we talk a lot about creating cornerstone content and doing it with webinars and or videos and video podcasts, those kinds of things. And repurposing your content into Facebook formats, putting them on your page, and then applying for a watch page is a great way for you to build. Even if you're niche, you can still have a watch page. So, for example, we've applied a couple of times for Facebook Watch. And we're still in the queue to get a channel. But when we do, we've got 68 episodes of content. So we have 68-ish hours of content to pull from.
It's a lot of content.
Yeah. To populate for digital marketing purposes, right? So in advance of being able to advertise on it, you can also be a creator on it, right? And I think one of the key takeaways here is that,
It's exciting.
like we've talked about, businesses in 2019, pretty much everybody is a publisher and a creator now. Is kind of the way to look at, your place in the universe. So interesting stuff on that. Let's keep on kicking. Cool. I like this. You want to do the condo method?
Yeah, let's do the condo method. So I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people in the audience have seen the Marie Kondo on Netflix, but now there's kind of an SEO method for Marie Kondo, and it's basically the same principles, and it's very interesting because it's quite easy, and it's more so basically auditing your SEO and your webpage and everything, your content, being really specific with your audit, and then taking down all of the low performing content or the duplicate content and really focusing up on the high priority stuff. And it's the same method where with Marie Kondo, if you're not familiar with her, it's more so like keeping objects that mean something special to you and throwing or giving away or repurposing the objects that don't really hold that much meaning to you, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is from an SEO perspective, this is as old as SEO, which is not all of the content on your site is valid content anymore. If it is valuable content and maybe it's a few years old, it's time for a circle back and an update. We talked a lot about that at the end of 2018, actually.
Yeah, we did.
Which was the end of the year it's a good time to go back, check out your
repurposing content. Engaging,
update it, find the stuff that's working. Some of the stuff that isn't, get rid of it if it's short form and doesn't provide a huge amount of value. The thing about this is the clever thing from a content perspective is the Marie Kondo analogy.
Yeah, exactly.
So people understand it quickly and easily.
And we'll put this in the chat because this is I actually went through the article and it's actually really nice and detailed. They actually do the Marie Kondo method that they're talking about for Marie Kondo's SEO strategy. So they go through and kind of give examples of how they're cleaning up her keywords, you know what I mean? And how they go through, I think down here, they scroll through, they show the duplicate content that Google is kind of showing when you search for the terms and stuff. So they're going through and showing up how she can kind of clean up her content there and stuff. And I think it's just a really nice strategy. It resonates with the audience. It makes it easy to understand because whenever you say SEO, a lot of people get, oh my God, SEO, like that's way too, you know what I mean? A lot of people get scared off by it. So
that was me the first day I walked into
Well, and it's true. I think one of the key things is that a lot of SEO is kind of boring to do it well. It's a lot about detail work. It's a lot about being thorough. It's a lot about naming your images with keyword, like even the actual name of the image file, the alt text, the description. It's not the most exciting thing in the world.
No. In the office, like when we're there working away, you come over and you start talking to Nira about SEO.
Yeah, it's the little things that add up, right? It's like you said, Dan. Like it's the descriptions when you're uploading them into WordPress and everything, even when you're saving them and you name them.
But following along, it's easy to pick up, but just hearing it from my desk,
it's a great article.
It just kind of goes over my head. Sit there, listen to keywords, type them in.
And the interesting thing is, I know on our social feed there's a bunch about using Pinterest for search. These are techniques that designers, like you're working on all of these infographics, these techniques are incredibly powerful in terms of distribution and things that you can do to affect huge change in SEO, right? And drive huge amounts of traffic. And I think it's one of those things, like one of the things we try to promote both with our clients. Yes, there is a technical aspect to SEO. There's no doubt about it, right? But there is also a very practical, recurring, process-driven, about being, kind of exact and just being thorough and keeping things clean. This is where it circles back to the Marie Kondo thing, which is something that someone with very little technical knowledge from whether it's a search engine perspective, it's just a matter of keeping things neat, keeping things tidy, treating your website like, I guess, your house.
We did that this week, didn't we? With the infographic I made for Honeypot, where we're linking the Pinterest account with the new infographic. Check it out, by the way. With featuring
the
Benny
plug.
B.
Yeah. Is this a day in the life of the assisted conversion, right?
Of course. Just using marketing terms. I made that during my placement, actually, the template. And we repurposed the content. Found it, freshened it up to our current brand guidelines, and we fired it off to Pinterest and our webpage as well.
That's right. Ben Miller says, "What's up, dudes?"
Oh yeah, Ben Miller is actually in the airport right now, waiting.
Oh yeah.
For his flight. Yeah.
Oh, we have to. We should cover this a little bit.
Yes.
So Matthew's had a rough day today.
Week.
I flipped him out with Momo. A little bit.
Momo, can't sleep. Momo's on
the interesting thing is that Momo image is actually like a sculpture from Japan. It's like a serious piece of art.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Usually stuff. Yeah, and then someone was like, "This would be great as a fake news meme on the internet," and there you go. Yep. But it gives Matej nightmares. Doesn't like it.
I don't like it. Don't like the sculpture. I didn't know it was a sculpture. I saw it and I was like, it's even more terrifying now.
But other than Momo, you're going away too.
Which is even more terrifying? Less or more?
Apparently.
Airplanes?
Not terrified. So tomorrow I am heading off to the UK. And this week's been busy, getting all the content ready to go. And I'm very excited. More nervous of the airport rather
claustrophobic?
Than
Be nervous.
Claustrophobia.
You're good.
Yeah,
you got this.
Is it claustrophobia? Is that what it is, or is it just?
It might be just so many people in one area.
Like, are you okay in people? Are you okay in bus stations if they're busy?
I wait outside.
Okay, so it's less the airport and more just a lot of random people around me annoying me.
And the last time I traveled, it was from Niagara Airport.
Yeah.
So Toronto, Pearson. Oh man.
Yeah. Now the worst experience is typically after like a vacation. And then all the Sunwing planes land at the same time, and everybody's disembarking, and it's like you're tired.
Or sometimes you got to circle,
and there's 800 people in that disembarking line that you have to go through Canadian customs.
Yeah. That's not fun.
That's my fear. And my friends keep pranking me. We'll put something in your bag, so you get like taken aside. I'm like, don't do it.
Oh, yes.
Ben Miller says we won't lose you. We won't lose Matej on you, I promise.
Okay, good job. Good job. And yes, Hannah, so Momo is a troll. It's fake news. Nothing has ever been attributed to this, but this is the nature of some parts of the internet. There are trolls, people that are trolls on the internet. And this is important for digital marketers to understand. There are people out there on the internet, has been before there was an internet, when it was bulletin 100%. Board systems and things like that. And their sole purpose is to create a meme of any kind, to troll it, and just to see it take off and get picked up.
Oh, yeah.
That is the whole typical purpose of fake news before it got weaponized by governments, right? But this is like, none of this for anybody's edification. None of this is new. This has been going on since it was like CompuServe in America Online.
Oh, yeah. But other people are so much more engaged on social media platforms. This came out. I had to ask you, Matt, like, what is this real? You're like, no, man, it's proportion.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, and I actually have pretty strong feelings about this being a parent, and I think the biggest thing that bugs me is the manufactured outrage from parental units that do not take the time to learn what the platform or the video game is, to read and understand what controls you actually have as a parent, and understanding what you can do. A lot of parents feign complete ignorance about, oh, I don't use YouTube, but I let my kid on it, and gee, they're on there for 7 hours a day.
Monitor your kids while they
you
watch.
You have to understand the technology and the platform. You're older than your children, so therefore you've got more experience. You're not necessarily smarter, but you've got the ability to educate yourself. Fortnite is a great example, right? And so is Roblox, just as another example. So Roblox is an incredibly popular creative game where basically it's a platform for other designers to create different types of games for kids. They create worlds. One of my kids' favorite one is called Meep City. The whole point of Meep City is you get pets and you have a house and you can do like dance parties. Like, there's no point to this. It's kind of like, it's even got less of a point than like Minecraft.
Kind of like Club Penguin.
Yeah. But there's literally hundreds of games on Roblox. Now, Roblox, there's been a lot of outrage from parents. But the thing is you can turn off your child's ability to chat with unknown friends. You can heavily moderate. You can ban games.
A lot of games, yeah.
You can whitelist. You've got a lot of features in there, none of which these parents
are aware of, or use,
yeah. Right.
or even use,
or even paying attention to what kids. So our kids, what they do, and I think this is important. This is probably it's not so much digital marketing, but in a sense, it's educating on technology.
Of course,
right?
Yeah.
Which is, you have the ability. Like my kids, we've made rules. You don't play a new Roblox game until we look at it. Mm-hmm. I want to see what it is because anybody can make a game, right? Mm-hmm. And they do that, and they gravitate towards there. We have ground rules, and I play Roblox too with them. Mm-hmm. That's another thing.
I think that's the important thing, is kind of doing something. If it's a platform, if it's a new social platform that your kids in the future want to get on, or if it's a video game, it's do it together. It's a great project to kind of work on together. I mean, it's great time bonding, but at the same time, as a parent, you're given the ability to moderate and see the full potential of what people could potentially do on here and stuff like that, right?
Of course, because it's not necessarily YouTube's job to monitor exactly to an extent, but this will be an eye opener for parents to use the features that are available in privacy settings, or even putting a Wi-Fi time where they have a time block where they can go on YouTube, use it while you monitor them, right?
I think and one of the biggest things is for parents is build a level of trust between you and your kids, that it's not like martial law. It's not like you're in prison and I'm watching your every step. I'm participating with you in this thing that I play video. Look, I like Minecraft. If I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't play it that much, to be honest with you. But I play it a ton because it gives me time with my kids to do creative things.
My siblings love it.
Yeah,
they adore it. They play it every day.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you a funny story. Yeah, I have this whole thing about the ESRB. I was around when it was Tipper Gore talking about how
ESRB.
Yeah, it's the Entertainment Safety Ratings Board, which is a bunch of right-wing conservatives in the States that rate video games. Yeah. So here's an interesting story, just to get totally off topic before we get into influencers, which kind of does relate to this. My kids know what's real and what's not, and you test the waters. There's a video game called Doom, and the latest version of Doom is beautiful if you're into zombies and hellspawn and very strange creatures. They know that this stuff is so wildly unreal, and they thought they were cute. They thought the zombies were cute. They were laughing at them. Turn on Scooby-Doo, they're terrified of the ghost, like a guy in a sheet.
Yeah,
right.
It's the stuff we were scared of as kids.
Yeah, so it's just this dynamic about exposing children to technology in the right way without just casting them out on the internet. That's where the problems happen.
Of course.
Right? And that's part of the YouTube debate. I could make, you could make the same claim. I feel like I'm on an AM radio talk show now. This is totally opinion based now.
Control the video game.
Yeah. Is this, you could say the same thing about advertisers that are shocked and disappointed that their brands are showing up on not brand friendly videos. You've got a big budget. You could probably have spent a little bit more time actually curating your brand instead of saying, hey, Google or Facebook, here's $2 million, get us impressions. Right?
Yeah.
So there's some personal responsibility there as well on these platforms, but kind of a bigger argument. Anyways, dark. It's getting very dark in here.
Circling back
to the light and bright world of influencer marketing.
Cool.
We're gonna try and stay relatively on point, and schedule wise. I mean, from here on in.
I think we got enough time to.
I think that's a good little op-ed piece that we could clip out there.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
Talking about kids and safety and the internet and technology. It's not going away.
No.
So, so yes, in what's working. So this is near and dear to Matt Stefanich's heart, I know.
Yeah. I mean, influencer marketing, we do a lot with influencer marketing with a number of different clients. And from doing it early on when I first started Honey Pot to doing it today, it's changed so much. But at the same time, I don't think everyone has realized that it's changed. And they're not really following new kind of trends or new kind of courtesies even to implement in their influencer strategy or partnership agreement. So I think today I really want to underline some of the changes that we see on a day-to-day basis from our side, and some trends that maybe people should kind of really start to freshen up on. So I have an article that has a really good infographic that I'll put up later. But from the first point that I wanted to kind of touch upon is influencer marketing is no longer like I think a lot of people see it as like an opportunity to promote my product, right? Like, for example, you hit up an influencer on Instagram, right? And you're like, here's this, I have like a t-shirt company and I really want you, if you can promote my t-shirt, I'll give you X amount like per post and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And we don't really see a whole lot of that anymore. It's more so, and I put it down here. It's a no longer promote my product. It's a reciprocal promotion of brand. So you're helping each other's brand out, and you're really getting influencers that resonate with your audience, but also influencers that your audience would resonate with, right?
One of the strongest influencers that does this is Joe Rogan with the Joe Rogan Experience.
Of course.
Both on advertising on his podcast and through his social media channels, which are incredibly powerful. There's actually the interesting thing about influencers is really effective influencers have really built a strong community, right? Joe Rogan's an example, but he's like, I mean, look, Joe Rogan, UFC commentator, comedian,
Game
television star, actor, you know, okay, he's at a different level than most people. He kind of came from traditional and came in. But as a fundamental, he really does care about his actual audience. Like, he doesn't just have big numbers. He's got big engaged numbers, right? And he will not just take advertising from anybody, right? He has to believe in the product. Joe Rogan Experience, I think it was 255, just released yesterday. The beginning part, the first 3 minutes of his podcast, he talks about that, right? He's got to believe in it. Those are the types of influencer relationships that you want to develop. Small, medium, or large, doesn't really matter, right? Micro influencers can be just as powerful with their audience as long as it's not just, hey, wear my t-shirt, right? We did a bunch of work with Pat McAfee throughout this season, this NFL season. And when Pat is really effective and his team's really effective is we would do games. We would challenge Pat McAfee. He would do 3-point shots and how many 3-pointers can he score in 2 minutes kind of thing. And so, like, to your point, Matt, it's a lot more about a true engagement with that influencer, right? Another, like a good example in the design space, for example, is we've got a client that makes faucets. So we have a lot of designers, and one of the things that we've been testing out is actually having influencers regram the original. So if you're not familiar with regramming, is an app that puts a nice little branded watermark, so you know where the source is instead of just removing it. And then creating a conversation and a dialogue, letting them regram a post, and then opening up the dialogue back and forth with the brand to the influencer and creating a conversation.
And even posting some of their stuff as well. Like we've gone out to them and be like, we actually really like this photo that you posted. Like, would you mind if we reposted it and tagged you in it? And they're like, yes, 100%. Because there's not a lot of times, like, yes, you get some UGC from influencers that you want to like put back, but it's mostly your product. Right?
And it's the repurposing aspect.
But it doesn't always need to be that way. If you genuinely think that your audience would like this post from an influencer that you have a partnership with, why not share it? It's only helping to nurture the relationship between that influencer. And I think the main thing that I wanted to underline today is a lot of the times with influencer marketing, a lot of people think it's very transactional. Like it's like, do this, do that, sign this, sign that, we're done here. talk to you like 2 months from now,
Yeah.
right? No, it's nothing like that, and people have to realize that it's a more natural relationship build.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
And you get
exactly.
a lot more from it.
And I mean, it intuitively makes sense. It's social. It's not, it's not an infomercial or a television spot. On social, if you find the right influencer group, and like they can be up and coming. Like one of the most effective things that we found, and this is not new, is if you find someone that's an influencer that you see is growing and passionate and putting in the hard work, brands have the ability to lift up those influencers and make them into something much larger than they currently are.
Absolutely.
I've been involved with numerous projects like that over the years, and what it does is it builds a really long-term, healthy relationship, right? So yeah, I think the concept, I think Matt nailed it there, is really develop that long-term relationship and be creative with them and promote them as well.
Yeah.
Don't do one way, because they'll appreciate that so much more. Like that's almost one of those things like money can't buy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that also, I mean, that kind of feeds into the next point, where it's like, once you have a relationship with an influencer that has been going on for like a few months and stuff like that, it naturally progresses to going outside of what you initially started with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not so much maybe it focuses on social anymore. Maybe your influencer has a blog, and throughout the months, like, the influencer's blog has really grown and resonated with the audience. It gets good viewership, etc. Why not incorporate something that your influencer is trying to grow and add it to your strategy, so it's more of like a win-win situation? And I think that's a lot of what we've been doing. Dan and Matei, you've been a part of this too, with creating content for it. Is basically a mini SEO strategy, right?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's another point to make about influencer relationships, is go beyond just the brand. Unless it's easy for you to see value in 100% social branding and promotion, typically it's not enough. So like actual exclusive co-branded offers that highlight your influencer. So whether it's a discount code, or maybe if you've got a new product launching, give them 48 hours pre-launch, like a VIP list. But exclusive offers, co-brand a landing page for them. Give them something unique, so you have something to convert upon.
Of course.
Right.
Feature them, link them in your article if they relate to your product, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then to that point is going to the next level. At that point, you can show an ROI on these relationships, right? You can say, this relationship is showing value here, here, and here. And then what you can do is, you can create content with them and for them. So I'll use an example of a health supplement that really nice guy, Drew Manning. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him.
Sounds familiar.
He's a fitness coach basically, but he did a thing called Fit to Fat to Fit, and he actually put on something ridiculous like 280 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Purposely.
Purposely, and then he lost it so that he was able to understand his clients.
Yeah.
Really great guy. And what we had done was, this is a while back, but we did a 28-day fitness challenge with him. We blocked it out, and then he started filling it in, right? So we came up with the concept for him that featured him because it was in our best interest to do so, as a really great way. You have 28 days to develop a relationship with an audience, right? It's more than just one. And we started we worked on it, we collaborated on it together. That got him more excited, and he promoted the heck out of it, and it was, it's a lot closer of a relationship than your typical
100%.
Just post this, take a picture. If you're Kim Kardashian, you can do that. Joe Rogan can do that too. And then you'll be able to get those backlinks, and that's just promotion, right? I mean, this whole notion, I think, of saying we're building backlinks has this negative connotation to it. What it really is promotion. The more that you get out there, the more people pick it up, the more traffic, and then search engines react the same way to it too.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you build that relationship, and then you blossom it out into other neat things. The other nice thing is it gets easier the more you do it with particular influencers. There's a trust level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, it's 5:07.
We made up the time, yeah?
Yep.
We did. Have a nice week off.
Yeah,
nice
Matei, we're
week.
going to miss you, bud.
I'll miss you guys too.
You two should have maybe like a bro hug. You're not going to see each other for like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because when you get back, I'm gone.
Because I'm getting back
What
to
do we?
Friday.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God,
right.
who's going to be producer Matt while you're gone?
I got someone in mind, don't worry. You guys will have fun.
Producer
You got
Stacy,
that.
she's got video.
Producer Stacey, producer Nira.
Oh God,
Oh, man.
that could be really interesting. I think usually Nira usually have to be like the one that's controlled?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be interesting.
Absolutely.
It would. Oh man.
We will figure it out. Where are you going?
Me?
Yeah, on your vacation.
We're going to Hawaii for the week.
Nice.
Times are tough in the Stefanich household.
They've got
yeah.
amazing coffee there.
Yes.
I'll bring some back for us. Don't worry.
So you're not going to show up for the Friday Live.
I could do remote on the balcony.
That would be
if you want.
interesting.
God,
Actually, you
that'd
know
be
what? We
cool.
could actually test that.
Yeah.
If
It's
you
just a
have
6-hour
Wi-Fi, if
difference,
you're right.
eh? So I might be having my coffee in the morning while you guys are.
Or your pina colada.
Yeah. That's
One of those. We should try that because Livestream does have the call-in feature that we can just send you a link.
You know what? Let's do it.
We can do it.
Okay, yeah, I'm down
No,
to do it.
you'll have good Wi-Fi. It's Hawaii.
Yeah.
I mean, you should
Yeah.
have great Wi-Fi. It's not like you're going to Cuba or
Yeah.
something like that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
And then you can rub it in. All right, everybody, have a great weekend and a great week. Enjoy your vacation, and we will see you next week for episode 69 of Live at the Hive.
69. See